When it comes to developer Ace Team, it's kinda hard to predict what you get. After all, when your first game is a total conversion mod for Doom that lets you play as Batman, all bets are off the table. Ace Team's latest outing is Abyss Odyssey, a 2.5D action RPG set in a randomly generated dungeon. Luckily for the Chilean developers, Abyss Odyssey is a challenging and fruitful game. It seems that over the past few years, action RPGs have been on the rise. Since the release of Diablo 3 and Path of Exile, there have been a tide of loot fests and goblins all seeking to be that next big game. Fortunately, Abyss Odyssey wasn't made to tread through the sea of action RPGs, and it charts its own course. I say that because Abyss Odyssey is unlike any other game, but retains that addictive aspect of the genre: loot, character progression, and exciting combat. If you're playing Abyss Odyssey for an epic akin to Beowulf, you're gonna have a bad time. The entire premise behind Abyss Odyssey is that there's this powerful warlock sleeping inside the earth, and his nightmares have started seeping into the real world. By playing as one of the pawns in his imagination, it's up to you to venture deeper inside the earth to wake the warlock and stop the demons that are terrorizing the planet. As far as I'm concerned, it's merely a means to get you into the randomly generated dungeons and fight baddies. See, you don't simply click on an enemy to attack. It's much more involved, and I would almost say it rivals certain fighting games. Encounters in Abyss Odyssey throw you into an arena where you are to face off against 2 or more enemies. Each of these enemies has a moveset that equals your own, which includes directional attacks, aerial attacks, grabs, and various special attacks and movements. Needless to say, each battle is a test of skill that can end as quickly as it begins. If you want to compare games, the controls remind me of something like Smash Bros., albeit not as fluid nor responsive. It does take a while to get used to the quirks of the system and determining whether or not you are vulnerable to attacks. That isn't necessarily a flaw though, because death is a natural part of the Abyss. Upon your player's death, you will then take control of a soldier that can resurrect your character. However, if the soldier dies, you will retain your items and gold, but start at the beginning of the game, ready to start again. The soldier isn't the only additional character that you could play as. In addition to the 3 main characters, you could also absorb any enemy's soul with a special attack. By using the soul, you could transform into the chosen enemy with their full ability set. Not only is this ingenious, but some monsters are ridiculously well suited to certain types of play. I myself prefer the hard-hitting golem over some of the more magic-based enemies, but they are all good on their own right. The map of the entire dungeon of each playthrough is available on every floor, along with several different pathways that you can take on your way to the Battle of the Warlock. There are a few different events that you can encounter on the way down, but in order to experience them all, you will need to play through the game multiple times. You might come across an ancient king or a devilish musician that will offer you the deal of a lifetime. More common are the shopkeepers that will sell you powerful artifacts and weapons, or altars that let you customize your special skills. However, I won't say the individual stage design is anything worth praising. After several playthroughs, I could easily recognize certain pieces of the floor, and at times there is a definite copy-paste feeling to them. Visually, I'm unimpressed with how the game looks, but I adore the art style. It is inspired by the Art Nouveau, pardon my pronunciation, movement from the late 19th century, using broad outlines with vibrant colors. The character portraits are particularly impressive. The character designs are what I would call eccentric and very strange to say the least. However, the strange design gives the enemies a wide array of attacks that make them fun to fight. I would love to say the art style translates well to the gameplay, but much of the world simply falls flat for me. Some of the animations are clunky and stiff, and I'm not entirely convinced of the transition to 2.5D. The music, on the other hand, is magnificent. There are aspects of the typical classical RPG music, but they are intertwined with modern instruments that really give Abyss Odyssey both a classical and contemporary feel. I wasn't sure what to expect going into Abyss Odyssey, but I am glad I took the plunge. The combat in Abyss Odyssey stands tall even among games in the fighting genre, and the randomized dungeons will give you plenty of reasons to descend into the earth many times over. It seems that Ace Team really knows how to make innovative and creative games, and they've really shown what they're capable of in Abyss Odyssey. Thanks for watching our video review of Abyss Odyssey. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe so you can watch our other reviews and features, as well as check out JumpToGamer.com for all your gaming needs.